Welcome back to the Expressions of Destiny podcast. This is Jennifer. Today is Wednesday. I am a few days overdue. It has been too long since I have recorded an episode. And so I just wanted to catch up with you this week and share with you a really cool story. It may not seem like much to most people, but it is just a reminder that God has us covered. He's always looking out for us. He's always taking care of us, even in the little things. It's the little things sometimes that mean so much more than anything great that we could, receive or have our heart set on, and it finally happens. It's those little things that we don't really pay attention to. And I know we've talked about this before, but I wanted to just remind you today of how good God is, even in the little things. And share this great story. So yesterday I was heading to work. I figured that I was going to be out all day running around and just participating in different things for my job. And so when normally what I do is the night before I make a lunch, and I did not make a lunch for yesterday. And so I got there and I didn't have my vehicle with me. So when I arrived there and realized or had found out that my schedule had changed, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I did not make a lunch. What am I going to do? I have no idea what I'm going to do today. I have a couple of snacks in my bag. Maybe I can just live off of those. And so as I'm sitting there thinking, I'm really taking some time to process this because I know that around lunchtime I'm going to be starving. I don't want to get hangry because that is one thing that does happen to me. I get a little irritated and moody. I know it's not a bad thing. It happens to all of us, right? But I don't want to be in that position where I'm just feeling a little agitated because I don't have anything to eat. And so I started thinking maybe there's a place around here that I can order from that will deliver. Let me start looking up places. And at the same time I thought, well, maybe I can just have someone pick something up for me, because every once in a while there's different people that will run out to get food. But then I thought, no, I don't have any cash. I just have a bank card. So maybe if somebody goes to get lunch, I can tag along and get it. I just had all these scenarios in my mind. And I promise you, in thinking about what to do, I just sat there and I said, Lord, I don't have a lunch today. What am I going to do? I know something. You'll figure something out. Because that's the way I talk to my daddy in heaven. I said, Lord, I know you'll figure something out. I know you got me. And about 15 minutes later, one of the ladies came around and said, hey, do y'all want to order anything from such and such place? The company's paying for it. And I thought, wow. I just sat there for a moment, and of course I placed my order, and I don't even know if she heard me, but I just remember saying, this is such a blessing. And when I got my lunch, I went and sat outside and I ate by myself, and I just thanked God, because it's in these little things that we don't really realize that He is looking out for us. Like I said, it seems so small. I could have easily taken my bank card and went and looked up a restaurant, ordered something, or asked somebody to pick something up for me. I could have done everything possible to fix that thing, to step in, to make it right. But I didn't. And in that moment, I stopped and I said, Father, I don't have a lunch. What are we going to do? What are we going to do about this? And when we include Him, when we depend on Him and we include Him in these things and we don't try to fix it, quite honestly, I could have called my husband as well and been like, baby, I didn't bring a lunch. I thought I was going to be out on the road today. Are you going to be in the area? Do you think you could drop something off? And I'm sure he would have worked around it and said, yeah, I'll be there at such and such time. But in that moment, I just stopped and said, Lord, what are we going to do about this? And 15 minutes later, lunch was provided. So I want you to remember that in those moments in our life where we actually stop and we ask Him for help, we ask Him for guidance, we ask Him for the blessing, when we take a moment just to stop and ask. And I don't mean stop and talk to Him about it, ask Him to do something about it, and then turn around and fix it yourself. Because then what was the point of asking Him for help? What was the point of sharing that with Him if you were just going to do it on your own? And figure out the situation or manipulate the situation or whatever it is that is taking place, whatever it is that you are needing help on. What difference does it make if you ask Him, you talk to Him about it, and then you just walk away and take care of it yourself? It's like saying, I just needed you to hear my frustration, but I got this. Don't worry about it. I'll be fine. He wants us to need Him. He wants us to come to Him, even in the little things. It doesn't have to be something grand. It doesn't have to be, we only go to our Father when, and this example just came to me, but when we were teenagers or young adults, and we would go to our parents and say, man, Mom, Dad, I'm so sorry, but I need to borrow about $500 until I get paid. But in the little things, we don't go up and say, can I borrow $1? Because we think it's so insignificant that why should we bother them about that? And I think we do that with the Lord a lot of times, is we think that the problem is so small and insignificant that we shouldn't be bothering Him about that. He wants us to. Go to Him. Oh man, I really wish, Father, I had $1 so I could stop and get a bottle of water, whatever it is. And I've seen Him move in those moments as well, where, I may be thinking that in my head. Sure would be nice to grab a drink, and, I don't have cash on me, I didn't bring my card, and then I look down and there's $1 on the floor. Or somebody offers to get it for me without me even asking, without them even knowing that I wanted it. That is how God moves on your behalf, on my behalf. He loves us that much that He sees and knows everything that we need and everything that we desire. My heart desired food, substance, yesterday, because I knew how my emotions and my body was going to feel if I don't eat. And I didn't want to be put in that position. And God knows that about me. He knows everything that you go through. And so don't think that it's so small and insignificant that you can't go to your Father about it. So I just wanted to lay that on your heart today, and remind you that He sees all. He hears every word that you speak. He knows every desire of your heart. And if you just go to Him and say, Lord, what are we going to do about this? I need your help. I need a lunch. I need some love. I need some comfort. Whatever it is, you go to Him and say, what are we going to do about this? Don't try to fix it on your own. Just wait and watch God move. And so I really pray that this bless you today, because I was just so blown away and blessed by how quickly He responded and answered the very thing that I was worried and concerned about, as small as it was. But I do love food, and I love when it's those eating times, when I know my stomach is telling me that it's getting hungry. My family laughs at me, because for whatever reason, when I get in the kitchen, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I start just singing and making up songs, and they call it silly songs with mommy, but for some reason, when I get ready to eat, I start singing. And so I know even those little things like that, God knows that about me. and he sees it, and he knows the joy that I get from cooking and from eating or going out to restaurants and enjoying good food. He knew that about me, and he said, "Don't worry, daughter, I got you. I got you today. Watch, I'm gonna provide the lunch. Don't you worry about it." And he did. He really did. And the people in that office may never know this story unless they listen. They may never know how much it meant to me to be able to tell them thank you, and that it was a blessing, I think was enough. But if they really knew and understood how much it did mean to me, I think that would be enough to restore their faith if they've lost it at any moment in their life, and to remember that God can do the same thing for them too, just like he can do for you, like he did for me. So I want you to go and have a wonderful day. Be blessed today. Be a blessing to other people. And, that is a big thing that we talk about on here all the time, is that we are blessed to be a blessing. The more we give, the more we have. So in us blessing others, God always provides and refills our cup to overflowing. Not just to fill it up, but to overflowing, so that we continue to be a blessing to others. And so, thank you again for joining me on the Expressions of Destiny podcast. I hope you have a wonderful day. And until next time, God bless.